I'm Johnny Mull, and I approve this message.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mix TV. Our Candidate Spotlight series continues. I'm Steve Hartline. Today, we speak with Bradley County Commission Chairman Johnny Mull, who is a candidate for Bradley County Mayor. And we're joined by Johnny Mull. Johnny, how are you?
I'm great, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing good, and thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about the campaign. We're going to talk about the election coming up. But this series of interviews, really, we want to get to know the candidates personally, their background, that sort of thing. So, especially with so many new people in this community, tell us about yourself, about Johnny Mull.
Well, I guess first and foremost, I'm a native Bradley County and been here all my life. My family's been here. Born and raised, graduated Bradley High School. I hate to say this, 1980. It's been a long time. Graduated from Bradley, product of city schools and county schools, city schools and elementary, and then went to Bradley High School, involved in football and stuff there. My parents are Bill and Pam Mull. A lot of people might not know my dad because he stood in the background of my mom when my mom was a circuit court clerk for 16 years. And so that's my parents. My grandfather, Red Dockery, who was the county trustee for 16 years. So kind of got a history in the service side of a community. Sister, Tracy, she's married and has 2 girls. And then my daughter, Kelsey, who's a 23-year-old college graduate that I don't have to write any checks anymore to the University of Tennessee, who lives in Knoxville and is doing well up there. So that's kind of the background of where I came from. Grew up First Baptist Church. It was my hometown church for a long time. Then I kind of not slipped away, but ended up going to a Pentecostal church, Mount Olive, for many years. Went there, was a deacon there for a while on their council of deacons, and then I've gone back to First Baptist, so I'm there now. So I kind of say I'm kind of a Baptist-costal, I guess.
So let's go back and as you said, born and raised here in Bradley County, and your family has quite a heritage here. You just mentioned Rex Dockery. Talk about him for those people who maybe aren't from here.
Yeah, it's funny, Rex. A lot of people. It's been a while since he's passed, but Rex was a 1960 graduate of Bradley High School, all-state football player, and went on to play at Tennessee. But he was really known more for his coaching and that really a legacy that he set. Coached at Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Texas Tech, and Memphis State, which is now the University of Memphis. And unfortunately died in a plane crash at 41 years old in 1983 when I was actually in college there. Rex was one of those people bigger than life. If you ever met him, I think the best analogy that someone gave was Rex was like if you walked in a dark room and somebody opened up the curtains and let the sunshine in. That was Rex Dockery. He had a big influence on my life. I paid a lot of attention to his leadership, his style, his motivation, and how he lifted people up to get them to achieve more than they were capable of. So, it's this. I go see. He's buried here in Cleveland, and I go visit that place at times when it's kind of my safe place, my quiet place. When there's times I just need to reflect on things, or there's an important vote on the commission, or something personal going on, that's kind of place that I go.
What have you learned? You mentioned your family that has served in this county. What have you learned from them and their experiences?
Well, what I saw from them was an example. Basically since I was 4 years old, somebody was in the courthouse working there. And what I saw from them was just a desire to help people, to serve and to do the right thing. That was probably impressed upon me more than anything else is to treat people the way that you would want to be treated, and to help them with issues or things they may have, regardless of who they may be or who they may not be. So I paid attention to that, and I've tried to follow that example and do that. I didn't necessarily know I would go into the political realm per se, but it's worked out that way.
When I was going to ask you, when did that happen? When did you decide?
Well, it's funny. My whole plan when I was in college, I went to Bradley and coached football after college. And my plan when I was in college was I was going to stay in Memphis. I was going to be a graduate assistant with my uncle there on the staff. And when that happened and he died, I just felt the need to come back home and be here and still go into coaching, but I don't know, I just felt like my family needed me here. So I made that decision to do that. And I thought I would be a football coach from now on. I loved young people. There's nothing like Friday nights. There's absolutely nothing like that. You don't get that. I love the commission, but you don't get that on commission night. Influencing young people's lives. That was kind of what I started out in. But when my daughter was born, and I realized that my daughter is not going to be able to be in the locker room and do the things, and I was going to have to, a lot of times going to be taken away from her. And I knew a lot of coaches that had some regrets there. So I decided I would go into administration, and from that, the political realm came about. I decided, I don't know if people even remember this, but in 2006, I actually ran for county mayor at that time against our current mayor. And I knew the obstacles at that point, but I really, really just wanted to get my name out that is something that I care about this community and something I wanted to look to. So a few years down the road, Brian Smith decided he was not going to run on the commission, and he contacted me and said, "Hey, why don't you consider running?" So I did at that time, and we're here now.
One final question about growing up, and you mentioned athletics. I'm hearing a lot of athletics. I'm hearing football. What has athletics taught you about life itself? We always hear that people involved in athletics, there's so many life lessons.
Oh man, I would not take it back for anything in the world. The life skills that teach you about facing adversity, you're going to face challenges in life, and things aren't always going to go your way. And persistence and hard work and persevering through obstacles and challenges are things that are going to carry over, whether it be in the business world, industry, family, or whatever. You're going to face those challenges in life, and that taught me those things to get through. It also taught me the value of team and teamwork. You don't get anywhere by yourself. A lot of people, all the quarterback or whatever may get all the glory, but the good ones know that they didn't get there by themselves, and if they're smart, they recognize that because their offensive lineman can really change that.
Did we talk about what position you played?
I was an offensive lineman, played offensive guard and linebacker. Actually, it's funny, when I started out in Little League, I was a quarterback.
Oh, okay.
And but I was too slow and didn't have strong enough arm.
You've seen those situations where the quarterback will take the lineman out to eat in the NFL if they don't get sacked.
Absolutely. And we had instances of that actually happened when I was coaching. We had a quarterback, I'm not going to say his name, ended up being a great kid, but he was a little cocky and bragging a little bit on himself. Well, at a practice that was happening, they just started letting defensive linemen, and he was getting just killed. And they
had a new appreciation.
They kind of told him at practice, keep running your mouth.
Athletics, oh my goodness. Well, let's talk about your upcoming election, and really why are you doing this? Why are you running for Bradley County? I mean that in a sincere question.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that the why is very important in anything that you do. Honestly, being on the commission and being the chair for the last 4 years, I've seen the challenges and really the opportunities that we have in our community. I see where we're going, the growth and the possibilities here. And what concerns me about that is how we're going to get to where we need to go and how we want Cleveland to look like. And I began to look and see and ask a lot of questions about our plans for the future for 5 years and on down the road, and I wasn't getting a lot of answers that were sufficient to me, and I felt like we didn't have that, and I felt like for the future of Bradley County, we needed to have a plan and determine how we wanted this community to look like, because if not, growth will control you instead of you controlling the growth and how you want that to look like. So that kind of led me to begin to explore the possibilities, along with the fact that our current Mayor Davis, had contemplated retiring, and I was under the impression that he was going to, so I had already began my plans to run, and then he changed his mind, which is perfectly fine. It's not necessarily a thing of I'm running against anyone. I'm running for something. So the why is I see Bradley County and where it's going and what it could be. And I think we have to address those things that are coming up and have a plan for where we want to go. And I just feel I have the leadership skills to bridge that gap and bring people together to get there.
If elected, give me a couple of things that you would want to do, first of all.
Well, basically, the most important things are this. I believe there's foundations of a community. I call them the 4 pillars of a community, and that is public safety, first responders. If you don't have a safe community, you don't have a community. So that's one of the foundations. Education. We have to continue to do all we can. Education is changing rapidly. We have to continue to look at that and continue to meet the needs of our students, but also the needs of the community, means of industry and careers. So PI Center is a great thing that's coming with that. Great opportunity. I can't wait till it opens. It's going to be a huge asset to this community. So education is one of the second pillars. Third is infrastructure. I believe we're 20 years behind in infrastructure. Some people have said they believe we're further behind. But you go down any road and people are going through neighborhoods, cutting through to get places because of the traffic issues we have, as well as water and sewer issues, broadband issues, things that are going to be vital to our success. So we have to look at our infrastructure. Possibility of new roads, of new development. And then the fourth one is economic development and a skilled workforce to be able to attract businesses and have the workers to be able to go in there to do the jobs that the skilled work that they require to do. So those are basically the 4 pillars, the foundation. And I think until you have to have that before anything else really takes off. If you don't, you're going to be, playing catch up. There's other things that I think are needed, like recreation, opportunities for not only our youth, but opportunities for adults, recreation. There's opportunities I think we're missing out because of recreational facilities that we're not able to bring in big, huge tournaments and stuff. I've obviously coaching. I've been around and seen in communities our size that host national tournaments, and those people are staying in our hotels, they're eating in our restaurants, so they're bringing in that money to our community. So those are things, and cultural aspects. I think we have a lot of very talented people in this community. We need to do some things to address that side of life as well. So those are the kind of areas that I'm focused on.
Got about a minute left. Johnny Mull joins us. Just speak directly to the voters and let's just tell them what you'd like for them to know and why they should vote for you.
Well, whether I'm born and raised and that's your thing or whatever, the thing is I love Bradley County. I love this community. I appreciate what's going on here. This is my home. This is where I want to stay. This is where I want to retire at some point. And when I walk away from doing what I do, I want to be able to look and see I'm proud of where we're going and what we're doing, and leave it to others to carry on and continue to make this the greatest place in the world to live. I believe I have the skill set to do that. I believe I can create a culture of openness and relating to people no matter where they are, what walk of life they're in. And I just ask for opportunity. I ask for your prayers during this time, obviously your support and your vote on May 3rd.
Thank you so much for joining us for our Mix TV Candidate Spotlight. I'm Steve Hartline. We'll see you again next time.
Here at Mix 104.1 and Mix TV, we are maximizing our coverage this election season with one-on-one interviews, scheduled discussions, candidate spotlights, web polls, and so much more. We believe it is important that you stay informed to make decisions that matter to you and your family. Don't miss a minute. Visit mymix1041.com. Our election coverage is presented by the Logan Thompson Law